Welcome to this evening's regular business meeting. We're going to have our invocation by Reverend Mr. Peter Swan, St. Philip Benizi Baptist Catholic Church, on Flint River in Jonesboro. Be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, please stand with me. Reverend not here? All right, well, we will have a silent moment of prayer, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our February 20th, 2024 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Do any board members have any amendments during this time?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and yes, Madam Clerk. If you could pull Resolution 2024-43 separately, and that's item 14, please.
Any others?
Yes. I would like to take out number 17, Resolution 2024-46 for a later date.
So you want to remove it from the agenda?
To remove it from the agenda.
All right, that's a motion. Is there a second? Okay, second by Commissioner Davis. Any questions?
Yes, what item was that?
This is item 17.
Thank you.
2024-46, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Any others?
Yes. I'd like to not remove from the agenda, I'm sorry. Put on the regular agenda, number 16, 2024-45.
Madam Clerk, you clear?
I'm clear.
That's the ordinance about the alcohol beverage hours. Any others? All right, before I ask for a motion to adopt the agenda, Mr. Reed wants to make a clarification on one of the items. Mr. Reed.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and Board. Ordinance 2024-45, the copy you have in your agenda book actually had two changes. One that was briefed to you relating to the alcohol, the extension of hours. The other was a internal discussion about changing when businesses could sell alcohol, like on election days. Both of those were on the ordinance in your book. What you have before you, we don't want to take that part of dealing with election days out, bring that to you in a work session, let you talk about it and understand what the request is and the reason why. What is in before you now is the one that is actually on the agenda for today, which is extending the hours to 3 a.m. only. So that's the substitution. There's nothing you need to do as far as making a change to what's on your agenda, because that's what is actually there. The one that's in your book had an extra issue that we can discuss at a later time, which the staff will bring back to you all for your consideration.
So what you're talking about now, is that in the ordinance that we have now?
Yes.
About election day? And
yes. Specifically is section 6-118A. That's where that is. And so that language that is in the substitute motion is what is currently in our ordinance.
Okay.
The one that's in the printed page is currently. The one that's in your agenda book was a change to that we want to bring back to you later to discuss before you all make a vote on that.
Thank you. All right, with that, I'll ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on any of the items? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item is a proclamation. Clayton County Board of Commissioners recognizes the Office of Communications and Print Services in celebration of Government Communicators Day.
Clayton County Board of Commissioners recognize the Office of Communications and Print Services in celebration of Government Communicators Day. Whereas the role of government communications professionals is to inform, educate, and engage communities, building trust and encouraging participation. And whereas government communicators create relationships, build awareness and understanding, foster engagement on civic issues, and include people in critical decisions through storytelling on all channels. And whereas having strategic communications in government is a fundamental element of democracy, where citizens possess the freedom to express their voices. And whereas the award-winning Office of Communications and Print Services has been honored by the Public Relations Society of America with the Award of Excellence for the Clayton County Branding Project. And whereas the Office of Communications and Print Services was also recognized by the Public Relations Society of America for excelling in best practices and strategies, winning the Phoenix Award for the most effective in-house marketing campaign of the Spivey Splash Water Park as a premier destination. And whereas the ACCG recognizes the Office of Communications as one of 4 Georgia counties who are leading the way for innovative community engagement. And whereas the Clayton County Office of Communications has launched the Claytonconnected podcast, making it available across all top podcast platforms, including Apple, Pandora, Spotify, and Stitcher. And whereas the Clayton County Board of Commissioners extends its deep gratitude and recognition to government communicators for their professionalism, dedication, hard work, commitment, enthusiasm, and sacrifice. Now, therefore, I, Jeffrey E. Turner, Chairman on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby honor and encourage you to celebrate and recognize the outstanding performance of the Clayton County Office of Communications and Print Services, and celebrate early February 24th, 2024 as Government Communicators Day. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 20th day of February in the year 2024.
Mr. Chairman, the board will now consider the consent agenda.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on any of the items? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item is item number 14, Resolution 2024-43.
Resolution 2024-43 is a resolution amending the acceptance of de-annexed properties located within the city of Jonesboro to unincorporated Clayton County, to authorize the chairman to execute any documents relating thereto, and to otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Has there, yes, Chairman. Has there been any planning on this, or has planning and zoning been notified of what their intent is?
Yes. So the original resolution that was adopted by this board back in September of 2023, the company that had requested that Jonesboro de-annex 2 properties, correct, they listed 2 where they should have only listed 1. When they caught what they submitted, they're asking now to not move forward on 2, but just to move forward on the 1.
What is their intent with that property? Do we know as of yet? I mean, I would think they have some type of intent if they're gonna de-annex a portion.
Yes, Commissioners, good evening, Chairman, Vice, and Commissioners. Yes, the intent of the project is to develop a single-family residential type development.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item is item number 16.
Item 16 is ordinance number 2024-45, which is an ordinance to amend the Code of Clayton County, Georgia, as amended specifically. Code of Clayton County, Georgia, Chapter 6, Alcoholic Beverages, Article 5, Operating Regulations, Section 6-118, Business Hours, Section 6-119, Vacating Premises, and Section 6-132, Employees List, to provide an effective date of this ordinance, to provide for repeal of conflicting ordinances, to provide for codification, to provide for severability, and for other purposes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any questions?
Yes, I have
Commissioner
several
Davis.
concerns with this. One, I've heard the term economic development being thrown around. From calculations that I just sit back and run simply, from those hours of 2 or 3, this county will benefit minimal from this bill. And now we're also going to put some of those employees in public safety in risk. So now we have a public safety incident going on. I believe at that hours of the morning, aren't we at our lowest shift count, or as far as staffing in the shift counts?
Chief Roberts.
Good evening, Chairman and Board of Commissioners. I was in the back. I apologize, Commissioner. Can you
No,
repeat
no,
that
no.
question?
What's the staffing like between, I'm just going to say between 12 and 4? Is it higher or lower than our normal days?
Well, actually, thanks to this board, as I mentioned during the work session, our numbers are much better than they were the previous 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And our vacancies, our sworn vacancies are in the 20s, whereas probably just a year ago, they were twice, if not 3 times that. But thanks to your great leadership, we on the path to success, Commissioner. I appreciate you asking.
I love my chief. I love my chief.
The feeling is
But
mutual.
But as far as the staffing levels, which shift is staff higher and which is staff lower though?
Regularly operating, usually the day watch and evening watch shifts, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. are more greatly staffed because of the sheer numbers of the general public moving during those hours.
Okay. And I guess another issue I have, we've had one sheriff deputy that has been shot multiple times at one of these establishments, and that establishment has been closed. We've had others that are illegally pouring already. If they don't have a liquor license now when they're operating, why would they get a liquor license because they can pour at 3? I just don't see any rationale or any benefit to the county, to our employees, or to the staffing folks to begin to do this. And me, as a previous owner of one of these establishments, those hours, you're going lighter on the pours anyway, and people that are coming in have already been drinking. So you're gonna have to turn them away. So I don't see even your revenues beginning to outweigh your expenses to where you're gonna be extremely profitable in this.
I'm not arguing your points, Commissioner. What I am saying to this board is your citizens have let the police department know during our investigations of those very businesses, several of the business managers and or owners articulated that they were traveling down the road of violating our ordinances and policies because they felt that they weren't being as profitable as they could be because their competitors, who may or may not border our jurisdiction, were able to draw customers away from this Clayton County community because of their longer operational hours. Trust me, sir, I'm not in the business of creating more work for me and my women and men in the field of public safety, but I have to balance that with the wishes of this board and the community. The
Understand.
community has spoken. I have no vested interest in the decision of the board, and if the board chooses to go in a different direction, I am not hurt. If the
Understand.
board chooses to move forward, then we will apply and enforce the ordinances as written.
I understand. I just see too many issues that far outweigh the benefit. We've had a murder at one of these after-hours establishments, and when you have the average age of some of these servers, mostly female, being roughly 26, to move that an hour out, you're talking about these young folks getting home 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and them being students or whatever. I just don't see this as something that is beneficial to anything going on in Clayton County. And it's definitely not beneficial to our budget.
Understood. I'll close with this. Those very ages that you described were many of the same ages we had to engage in mass over the past year when we had those businesses operating outside of our ordinance. That's the age group that was there.
Correct.
It might not be this age group that's sitting up here. I know I'm usually in the bed by that time because I've gotten older. But we do have a younger generation in this community that does move around during those hours of business. So once again, the police department has no vested interest in this matter. It was brought to us through our community. We're responding to the board, and we, of course, will align our operations along with the decision of the board on this matter.
I just say guns and alcohol have never mixed, and we are actually extending it and giving it an opportunity to be even a more dangerous mix the later we go on.
So let me add this, that each establishment has a responsibility to protect its patrons as well as its employees. That's first and foremost. Hopefully that if it is extended, that they will continue to have a level of security, whether it's sworn officers or securities, private security at those locations, especially for their employees after hours to get to their cars. We all know our average age of our population is 34, 35 years of age. They want to party, they want to be out there, but as also they have a level of responsibility that they must instill in themselves. If they have to go to school, if they have to go to work next morning, then they need to go home. But that is not us to dictate to them how late they should stay out. I think that for the business owners to be able to make additional money, which translates into additional sales tax for the county. I'm not saying whether it's beneficial or not, but I think from my perspective, just to even give them a opportunity to see how this works out. Because just like we are, if we approve it, we can repeal it and we can set it back if it's detrimental to this county and to the police department. But Chief, my only question to you is, with the extended hours, can you handle it?
Yes, sir. Manpower-wise, we're in better situated thanks to this board than we were just a year ago. And actually, this discussion was generated because we were proactive during the summer of 2023 to engage our restaurant, bar, and lounge owners to have them respond to the police department. And this is where that actual discussion began, followed by enforcement. And on site with those violations and enforcement, the discussion arose again, and that's how we're here. And I'll close with this. The restaurants, bars, and lounges do not relieve any citizen of their personal duty of being responsible in everything they do. You don't get a pass just because the board may consider changing the hours as it relates to DUI, handling firearms while under the influence. There is no relief for that. There's a level of personal responsibility attributed to all Clayton County citizens, and that standard doesn't change.
Absolutely, or visitors.
Absolutely.
To our community. But also, hold on, also, so you made me lose my thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Well, while he's thinking,
Commissioner Hambrick.
Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm not mistaken, I read something that this was a trial for a year or two.
That is correct. I sent information to this board
Yes.
Friday via email, and I listed the other jurisdictions who were later and some that were not as late as Clayton County, and my explanation to the board is just that that we can assess this matter through the year to see if it's actually a positive impact on our business owners and if there's a negative impact on public safety. And I will be the first to run back to this microphone if there's a negative impact on public safety to say there was an error in judgment. We gave it a try, but it's not appropriate for Clayton County.
Now, I remember, Commissioner Ambert, just because it extends the hour to 3 o'clock does not mean a business has to stay open till 3 o'clock.
No, they do
So
not.
they have their opportunity to close at any time or keep the hours the same. And I just wanted to put that out there. Are there any other questions?
I do have one more comment.
Commissioner Davis.
You said question, Commissioner, but go ahead.
I would say this as well. We have an issue with overcrowding already in our jail. Couple this with Senate Bill 63, cash bail, which was just passed by the House and the Senate a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, which is now going to take a lot of misdemeanor charges and not let them bond out, but make it cash bail required to bond out. Couple that on top of that with the city of Atlanta passing, I'm not sure if they passed the ordinance or they're speaking about passing the ordinance, which is going to now make it, illegal or whatever for folks to come into the airport. When those folks are arrested coming to the airport, where are they going? Clayton County Jail. Now they can't bond out because they're going to have cash bail. So we're looking at not only from an economic standpoint, this can be a disaster for Clayton County, in my opinion.
My response to you, Commissioner, along that vein, everything you said is true, but I will also provide the caveat in that when we deal with businesses that violate our county ordinance, they usually receive a citation. You're not elevated to going to jail unless there's a crime against a person, something of a higher and aggravated nature that may rise to the cause of a felony. So the extension of the hours in and of itself may or may not result in an increase of arrests. We will have to assess that during the year. But the sheer change in the ordinance related to the hours, there's usually a ticket or citation offense.
Correct. And I would hope, regardless whether this passes or fails, that we begin to aggressively crack down on some of these establishments that are pouring illegally without a liquor license.
That is how we got to this conversation. I believe I listed at least 5 businesses, restaurants, and lounges just last week during a work session where we engaged these businesses because they were operating outside of the ordinance, and they gave the explanation that our closing hours were not as competitive as they like. But I'll close again, Commissioner. I'm going to step away. That's because he keeps asking me the question. But to that end, I'll close again, the safety of the community is paramount. If that is not the wish of the board and the community, the police department does not have a problem with it. If it is the wish of the board, we will keep the community safe accordingly. Great. Now I'm going to move because I've been waiting.
Any other questions?
I call for the vote.
All right, hearing no more questions. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
3-1, it passes. Next.
Mr. Chair, I have a point of privilege from Commissioner Dr. Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take a personal point of privilege at this time.
Commissioner Anderson.
All right. Hello, citizens of Clayton County. I have 2 things that I need to clear up. There were 2 comments that were made during public comment on last week, and I wanted to make sure that I read these statements. One had to do with the Roman United, and the other had to do with the status of my seat. Recently, a citizen stated that I voted for the Roman United contract and authorized them to be paid $559,000. That is not correct. The Board of Commissioners voted to enter into an agreement with the Development Authority and Roman United on October 19, 2021. The resolution number is 2021-215. If you look at the signature on the page of this resolution, you will see that it lists District 1 as vacant, as no one had yet been elected to finish the term of Commissioner, our late great Commissioner, Sona Gregory. When I went to the event with the Roman United and said that this is what I ran on, I was talking about my desire for quality developments in Clayton County, live, work, eat, and plays, not only in District 1, but in Clayton County as a whole. Unfortunately, as everyone later found out, Roma United was not one of those quality developments that we expected it to be. But as long as I am commissioner for District 1, I will always look to improve the quality of life for the Clayton County residents, and that includes getting the types of developments, live, work, eat, and plays that we see in other parts of the Metro Atlanta for our county. The next thing I would like to clear up is the status of my seat. I recently received a letter from the board chair from the Elections and Registration Department, and it says, "Dear Commissioner, it was brought to my attention that at the February 6, 2024 meeting, a member of the Clayton County Board of Elections and Registration appeared at a public comment and suggested that you were required to resign from your seat by February 13th in order to run for the chair of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, and I am running for chair. The suggestion is neither the official position of the board, nor is it a correct legal statement. The qualifying period for the seat for chair of the Board of Commissioners will begin March 4th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. and end on March 8th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Since you took office on January 1st, 2022, your term of office expires on December 31st of 2026. Unless you qualify for an office whose term begins more than 30 days prior to December 31st, 2026, there is nothing you need to do to remain in office until the end of your current term. Also, since qualifying does not begin until next month, you do not need to resign before the qualifying period begins. In addition, should there be a need to have a special election in May, this is not an unusual occurrence for the Board of Elections, as the board is equipped and prepared to conduct special elections as needed to comply with the law as circumstances require. If there is anything else you need from me, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Arvis Walker, Chair of the Board of Elections. Again, I wanted to clarify those two things, and I want to say to the citizens that I'm going to make sure that I continue to do what's right and walk in integrity for this county. I want our county to move forward, and I am going to do that as your District 1 Commissioner and as your next chair. Thank you, and have a great night, everyone.
Madam Clerk.
Right. Mr. Chair, our next items are board appointments, starting with item number 18.
First, board appointments to the Board of Health. This is an appointment by the City of Forest Park. They are not ready to move forward, so Madam Clerk, hold that till the next meeting. Next board appointment is to the Veterans Advisory Board. Clarence Burno has missed over 12 meetings and is considered inactive. The existing term will expire on June 6, 2026. Commissioner Hambrick, you have a recommendation.
Yes, members of the Veterans Board have referred to me a name of Ms. Terrian Florence Moore.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next items are zoning hearings. Citizens may speak for or against an item that is considered by law to be a zoning decision, and each side will have 10 minutes to present its case. In the event there is more than one speaker per side, speakers must divide their time in order to complete their full presentation within the 10 minutes. When time runs out, the speaker will be expected to cease speaking and leave the podium area. Applicants or citizens speaking in favor of an item shall speak first. Applicants in zoning ordinance cases shall have the right to reserve time for rebuttal. Opponents of a zoning decision item shall have no right of rebuttal. When speaking, speak directly into the microphone and begin by stating your name, address, and name of any organization you represent. Abusive, profane, or derogatory language will not be permitted. Our first zoning hearing is item number 20. This is BOC 2310-0366, which is a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 10469 Southampton Court in Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238.
Good evening, Chair and Board. Ryan Sellers with the collaborative firm on behalf of the Planning, Zoning, and Sustainability Division. As she stated, the first case, BOC 2310-0366, a CUP The applicant has requested to withdraw this application. On February 5th, 2024, the zoning advisory group voted to accept this withdrawal.
All right, is the applicant here? I know they want to withdraw. I just want to make sure that they weren't here if there was something additional they wanted to add. So I am going to place that in the form of a motion to accept the withdrawal. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Davis. Are there any questions? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item is item number 21. This is BOC 2312-0375, which is a rezoning for 3270 Railroad Street in Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294 from RS 180, single family detached residential, to MXI, mixed use commercial industrial, for a headquarters office and pressure washing company.
Good evening again. The next two cases are companion cases. The first one we'll be hearing is BOC 2312-0375. The applicant, Alfonso Murphy, is requesting to rezone 3270, formerly known as 3283 Railroad Street, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294 from RS 180 single-family detached residential to MXI mixed-use commercial industrial for an office and pressure washing company. Said property consisting of give or take 1.3 acres, is further known as parcel 12183D A001 and located on Railroad Street, which is a dead-end street south of Boulder Crest Road and within the Highway 42 overlay district. This is the future land use map, the current zoning, an aerial map, the proposed building elevations, the site plan. Staff's recommendation was approval with conditions. The ZAG recommendation is denial. And the applicant is here tonight.
The applicant, please come forward. If you would state your name for us, and usually we would reserve any minutes for a rebuttal.
Okay.
Should somebody be in opposition to your request, do you want to save a couple of minutes?
Okay.
Okay, put 8 minutes on the clock.
My name is Alfonso Murphy. Good evening, Chairman and Board of Commissioners. So my name is Alfonso Murphy, as stated before. I've been in business now going on 13 years. I am a veteran-owned business and a minority-owned business here in Clayton County. 98% of my staff members come from Clayton County. 100% of my tax dollars go back to Clayton County, and 100% of my mentorship is in Clayton County also, with the gentlemen and the ladies that I mentor with my business. As I said, I've been in business 13 years, so I have been scaling for the past 10 years. So it's to a point now where I need a brick and mortar for my employees and myself in order to continue scaling in this Ellenwood and Clayton County.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anyone like to speak in favor of?
Mr. Chairman?
I'll take you in just a second. Mr. Jefferson's coming up. I'll get you next.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
All right.
If you would, sir, you can just have a seat right there.
Thank you.
Timothy Bondale Jefferson, Incorporated, Clayton County. I do not understand ZAG's denial of this particular item. Unfortunately, in my opinion, we have a lot of people on these boards and variance boards that do not have the skill set to make wise decisions. So therefore, we miss opportunities for businesses such as this young man have to move forward in the spirit of excellence. So with that stated, we have to be a business-friendly county, and we have to really look at the businesses, and he's doing some positive things within the community, so I recommend approval. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Garber.
Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated, Rex, Georgia, which is right next to Ellenwood, Georgia. And I'm very familiar with Railroad Street and that area there. It's a very heavily industrialized area, and I think this business will be well suited to locate there. However, there is one caveat to this situation. If there's any homeowner in opposition to this, their needs need to be addressed and satisfied for this person to operate there. And I'm sure with enough conversation and enough decision, their needs could be met, because the people come first and businesses come second. Without the people, you got no business. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of? Anybody else in favor of?
Good evening, everyone. I'm a little hoarse. I'm sick, so please excuse me. I would like to speak positively on the behalf of Alfonso Murphy's business. I've been working alongside him with this particular project, and I've had a chance to witness the positive impact he's had on his employees. He's definitely a very strong leader, a very strong mentor, and he is an advocate for employing the unemployable. And I have seen the positive changes in those young men. I've seen them grow, become more of a strong, they have stronger work ethics. They have definitely been inspired to work hard and work towards having their own businesses one day. And it's definitely been a positive thing for me to witness personally. Throughout this process, not only has he been aggressively working to grow his business. He's been working on this rezoning project. He is active in the military. He's actually on military duty right now. And I personally have not seen or witnessed anyone other than my own personal father work harder than him. And so I definitely feel like this next stage for his business is going to help him catapult his business to the next level, but also his mentorship and his leadership, where it is a direct positive impact from my opinion and my position and what I witnessed in the young men that work for him. So that's my take. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you state your name for the record?
Sure. My name is Sharon Lockhart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stephen Henry, Chair of Commissioners. Just speaking on the good behalf of my one of my club brothers here, and by me and him partnering with each other and him bringing some of the guys to the barbershop, I think this would be a good business for this community on the behalf of my ward here and my club brother.
Thank you.
Anybody else in favor of?
How you doing? Never spoke in public like this before, so sorry.
State your name for us.
My name's Tyler Yancey.
Okay.
Outside of my dad, this has been one of the biggest mentors I've ever had. We'll gladly give you the shirt off his back with no problem. He's taught me a lot. Nothing bad at all to say about this man. I started my own business a couple years back, and I was just doing it to the side and everything like that. And since then, I have quit my job and started doing that full time. And it would have never happened. I would have never grown to where I am today without him. And yeah, nothing bad to say about him. Nothing bad to say about him. Sorry, I don't.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So,
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Is there anyone want to speak in opposition to? Okay. Come on forward, sir. You got a minute 20 seconds. Yeah. We're going. There's a minute 20 seconds left for in favor of.
How y'all doing? Well,
state your name, sir.
Patrick Allman. This right here is a great friend, a brother, great leader. Like they say, trying to grow his business, and he try to help one another. Everybody that come in to to grow their own business. He an upstanding guy, best person that I've met. I said the last 5 years. Sorry about the breathing, a little asthma. And for have someone with a business, in the business mind like him, to come into y'all resident, I think it'd be good. Because he's gonna bring other community, other people around. Anybody that need a job, he gonna do it. He gonna try to help them best he can. Like him, I'm not a great speaker. I don't stand up in front of everybody and talk. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone? Well, you're going to be out of a lot of money because a lot of folks said a lot of good things about you, buddy. All right. Anybody like to speak in opposition to? Anybody opposed to applicant's request? Anybody opposed? All right. We say 2 minutes for you. You have anything last you would like to say before I turn it over to Commissioner Anderson?
So guys, I'm from South Carolina, and I know that if I had not moved to Georgia after college, if I had not moved to Clayton County, I wouldn't be here where I am. Everything I've ever put into anything has been Ellenwood, Clayton County, Atlanta, and Georgia. I just want to grow this county into the county that I know it can be. I want to support my fellow commissioners. I want to support the chairman. I just want to be that positive role model that when you guys need something for the county, you guys can call on Al Murphy or M&M Pressure Washing. I want to take all these kids that's not given the opportunity to be great to come along with me so I can teach them how to be great. Because where I look like this and somebody will give me opportunity, those same guys that work for me, they won't get that same opportunity. So I want to be that gatekeeper for those guys and gals. That's the biggest thing. I just want to be great, and I want everybody that worked for me and everybody that's attached to me to be great just right along with me. And I want Clayton County to be the best county in Metro Atlanta. That's all I got.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Commissioner Anderson.
Good evening. Mr. Murphy, can you stay up there? I just want to first say thank you for your service, and thank you for putting back into the Clayton County community. That means a lot because we have a lot of children, we have a lot of kids, we have a lot of adults who need mentoring throughout our county, whether they're men or they're women. We need people that are just not coming into this county just for a business, but they're going to put back into the county and so back into the people. So thank you for doing that. Also, I just wanted to ask you, what branch of service are you in?
I'm in the Army. I'm in the Army Reserves.
All right, and I just want to say thank you for your service, and thank you for being here. And you're actually on active duty right now, huh?
Well, yeah. It's
You're not AWOL, are you? We got cameras. We got cameras.
It's my annual training, so I got a shaving profile because I break out anybody that's been in the military. So, but yes, I'm on my annual training right now for the next couple of days. So, and I retire May 16th. So,
well, tell Uncle Sam we said thank you for allowing you to come in to bring this business to Clayton County. Right. So, to the citizens and to our board, I would like to recommend approval for BOC 2312-0375 to rezone 3270 Railroad Street, Georgia, from RS 180 to MXI single family, we're going to say for a headquarters office and pressure washing company. There are some conditions that are attached to this. Do I need to read the conditions in?
I think that's on the second.
Is that the second one?
Well, no.
Because they got it on the first one. They have it on the first one.
It's on both.
It's
So
on
he
both.
just needs
So
read it in the record.
if he's okay with it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read these conditions into the record. Number one, the proposed building will need to be built at the same time as the parking lot. No outside storage of material unrelated to construction shall be allowed until the parking and building are completed. Are you okay with those conditions, sir?
yes, I am.
All right.
Your motion?
And my motion is again, I move that we approve BOC 2312-0375.
With the conditions.
With conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Don't go nowhere.
One more.
Don't go nowhere. Jumping the gun. You got one more to go.
And Mr. Chair, our final item on the agenda is item number 22, BOC 2312-0378, which is the CUP for the companion case that we just approved.
Yes, as stated, this is the companion case to the previous case. This is BOC 2312-0378. It's a conditional use permit request by Alfonso Murphy for a pressure washing business at 3270, formerly known as 3283 Railroad Street, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294, which is in the Highway 42 Overlay District. Said property consisting of give or take 1.3 acres is further known as parcel 12183D. A001 and located on Railroad Street, which is a dead-end street south of Boulder Crest Road. This is the future land use map, the current zoning, an aerial map, site plan, building elevations, and this is a site plan. Staff's recommendation was approval with conditions. ZAG recommendation was denial.
All right. Mr. Murphy.
Alfonso
Again.
Murphy, as before.
And again, we'll give you 2 minutes just in case.
Okay. I do want to make one correction. On the site plan, they have that it will be a detail shop and a car wash. So it will not. My building is strictly for base headquarters. It will not be any business conducted there from the outside public. So the outside public won't have to worry about any additional traffic there. Won't be interrupting any of the citizens right there. It will not be any cars. No work will be done on site. My company, we work from South Carolina all the way down to Florida. And as I said, 90% of my work is in Metro Atlanta. So no work will be done on site. So none of the citizens of of Clayton County and Ellenwood have to worry about any additional traffic being there because it is such a tight area right there. So I just want to make that correction. So that's all I have to add to that.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
This is a public hearing. Anyone would like to speak in favor of applicant's request?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Garber.
Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated, Rex, Georgia. Seeing that there was no opposition from any homeowners there, I would like to say welcome to Mr. Murphy in his endeavor for his business and much success. And when you get a space shuttle program going to Mars through your endeavors, I'd appreciate a ride. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of? Anybody in opposition to? Anybody opposed? Anybody opposed? Commissioner Anderson.
Good evening. Again, I just want to say, again, thank you to Mr. Murphy, and thank you to the citizens of Clayton County. Again, I recommend approval of BOC 2312-0378 for the conditional use permit for the pressure washing business on Railroad Street with conditions as read into the minutes before.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Is he okay with that condition?
Say what?
Are you okay? Yeah, yes.
Yes, I am okay with that condition.
All right, Commissioner Hambrick, second the motion. Are there any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
All right, we can clap now. Come on, y'all can clap now.
The board will now hear public comments. Citizens will be given 2 minutes, maximum time limit to speak before the board with a total time of 20 minutes for comments. Please remember, comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over matters which the governing body has jurisdiction. Speakers must maintain decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon board members, shouting, and using obscene language. Please state your name and county of residency for the record. Speak clearly into the microphone, and speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the board.
A. Moorfield.
Mr. Chairman, board members, good evening. I had a whole bulletproof of things that I wanted to talk about, but within 2 minutes, I'm not going to be able to get through all that. Again, Alonzo Moorfield. I am a resident here of Clayton County. Also work in the legal profession here in this county as well. And I do represent today the Aquatic Blue Seafood Bar and Grill, which is located at 3056 Anvil Block Road in Ellenwood, Georgia, and Dr. Alika Anderson is our commissioner. I want to speak to item number 16 relative to the ordinance extension that was presented by Chief Roberts. I had a whole variety of things I wanted to talk about with regards to that, but not in a 2-minute time frame. So I'm going to just hit on a few things, and then I'll take my seat. I wanted to talk about the fact that it is in fact true that I also own a security business, and our security business provides security for this particular establishment, which I understood Commissioner Davis spoke with regards to his concerns relative to the security issue and matters related to extending those hours. And I just wanted to tell you, in conjunction with other businesses and in my talking with the security staff at other businesses, we're kind of all in aligned with regards to this extension. And we understand and we know that we will have a responsibility to provide the safety and security of the Clayton County residents who attend that business, but it is also, as I think that that was stated, it is the responsibility of our citizens in this particular county to take personal responsibility and accountability for their actions when they're attending these things.
2 minutes is quick. Your time is up, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
J. Antoine. J. Antoine. John Joseph. John Joseph. Did you sign up to speak, sir? State your name for us.
Good evening to the commissioners and chairmen.
And please speak up.
My name is John Joseph. I'm here as a resident in Clayton County, and I work at the Essence as a manager. And my concern about the county ordinance, I would like to approach that as a yes, if you guys can vote yes on it, because I have a lot of people that would like to come and work because of the time frame, and it's kind of like awkward. So, and also a lot of business we could maintain accurate is not, a lot of business people cannot come to us because of the time. And then would like to mention that if there's anything, you can vote on it. All right.
Thank you, sir. Can't read this handwriting. It looks like maybe Clyde Hunt. Hutt.
Clyde.
Hutt. Well, I believe that's the gentleman here. We'll let him say it.
Yes, my name is Clyde Hunt.
Okay.
I am the house security for Essence, and we do have a full staff for security. We have inside, we have about 6 security. We have about 4 outside, in the front and the back. So make everybody feel safe to come there.
Great. Thank you, sir. Stewart Lane, LZNGE. Stewart, do we have a Stewart? Okay, let's move on. Ricky Lovelace.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioner. I'm just here to make a simple request. My name is Ricky Lovelace. I'm on the Parks and Recs Board, Advisory Board, and I represent District 2. My request is that as part of the board, I would like to request that we are more involved in the decision-making that what's going on with the Parks and Recs. As of today, I've been hearing things from citizens and stuff that we have never heard of. That's what's going on in Clayton County. As part of the advisory board, we should be advised of this way ahead of time before it gets to the citizens. And this is something that they shouldn't know of first unless it comes through the advisory board. And that's my only request. Thank you.
All right. Timothy Vondale Jefferson.
Timothy Vondale Jefferson, Incorporated, Clayton County. I would like to reiterate on the Roman United deal. I came before the board last board meeting, and I gave my professional opinion on that deal that I feel is theft by deception. And I hope that we have not moved forward with the paying the attorneys any funding on this lawsuit, because at the end of the day, we will not recoup any funding because they will simply file bankruptcy. So because of that particular issue, I think that, and especially because they did not meet any of the benchmarks that was in that contract, that make it theft by deception all day. I have talked to police officers, I've talked to attorneys. I don't know what the hesitancy is, but my email address is vondale912@yahoo.com. I really would like a follow-up on what we are doing in pursuing Roman United, because it was a total embarrassment. It's not a day that go by that I don't get questioned about what happened with the money. So we have got to be, as leaders, we've got to be a little bit more transparent and get to the bottom of this so the citizens feel somewhat comfortable, because right now we're all over the place. So I think theft by deception is the way we get a claw back, and we possibly can get our funding back. But a simple lawsuit and we spending good money after bad money, I think is a bad decision. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Carlos Benefield.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. As you probably already know,
State your name.
Carlos Gary Benefield, District 3. As you already probably know, that I'm the Vice Chair of the Parks and Recs. We haven't had a meeting in 4 months, and that's due to our Park Director canceling our meetings. And he's not a board member. He's an ex officio. So he sits in on our meetings. He can't cancel them. And this is happening 4 months. We have not had a meeting. And also, I'll piggyback off of what Mr. Lovelace said, that with what's going on in the community, now we are hearing that we are moved out of our football league that we were in. And we have not heard anything from Caboy or Troy about this move. So as a board member, I feel he should have brought that to us instead of bringing it out to the community, and then we can all make decisions as one. And also at North Flat Shoals Park, the chains are on the gate. We don't know why chains are on the gate, and they shouldn't be. Now, from what I'm hearing, because they have dogs that comes in the park and poop. Okay, if that's the problem, put some bags out there for the dogs so the people can pick their poop up. And the chain should not be on the gate, because the taxpayers pay for them parks. So we need to remove them chains and have them open. And if we are having other groups of people coming to our park to practice football or anything like that, they should be compensate us for using our parks. Because I understand it's a public park. But if your park is not letting you play football, why come over to Clayton County? I know we're a nice county, you know, so we don't need that.
Your time is up. Thank you,
All
sir.
right,
Yeah,
thank you.
Let me
Go ahead,
say this, that I request those locks to be put on the different fields because we were getting complaints of dogs using the field more than people and all. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a date that has been set aside to start the practicing and all, which we're behind.
Yes,
in
that-
that.
yes,
That
that's
I've
a
heard
date we
that
need
other
to-
parks have been practicing.
Right.
And all, so the gates, I mean, the locks have been taken off.
Okay.
And all, but that was a request that was made from some citizens to have. So I was the one that asked the director to put those locks on the gates.
Okay, if we have dogs, we can build a dog park. We got one in Lakes
We have one in, yes.
We got one in District
1 too.
We got one in District 1, we got one in District 3,
Well, we
so
definitely gonna
let's
have one
build a
in
dog
District
park
2.
so they can
Yeah.
go do their thing they have to do.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Mickey Garber.
Mr. Chairman, would it be possible for me to make a request to relinquish my time to Miss Darlene Johnson because I believe she has something more to say?
No, sir, you have to be signed up, but if you want to relinquish your time, I will accept
No,
it.
sir. That ain't happening.
Come on, sir.
Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated Rex, Georgia. Mr. Chairman, member of the board, I'd like to speak to the issue, I don't remember the number, but about extending the bar situation and the bar times. As being a good member of the American Association of Honky Tonk Bars and spending a lot of time in them, I do not agree with extending the time. And if you ain't got right by 3 o'clock in the morning, you better call 1-800-HELP because you need it. But in the view of public safety, and speaking seriously about public safety, that we need not to extend the time. Are we putting profitability ahead of public safety? It's a proven fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Coach Franklin.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. My name's Rodarius Franklin. I'm a current resident of Fulton County, but my heart resides in Clayton County. I graduated from North Clayton High School, and I'm now actually a volunteer coach at North Clayton High School as well. My biggest thing is the youth in Clayton County. That's in my heart. And basically what we have a situation is right now is that, like the gentleman before me said, that decisions are being made for our youth, and we don't have any say-so in the matter. Like they said, we were just notified on yesterday that our youth football teams would be moving into another football program that was formerly Spifle. We were currently in Georgia Municipal. And the issue is that, as we all know, especially at Flat Shoals Park, we ultimately didn't have any football there for years. Flag football was very small there, but just in a matter of a year, myself, Coach Adam Shelley, Moon McKenzie, and a few more, we were able to build, a program that was ultimately non-existent for a good period of time, starting with 3 teams last year, and now we actually have it set to be actually fill all ages at tackle from 6 to up to 12. This group is something special. We're creating not just a team here, not just an organization, but it's a family. We had also built, new friendships with the Georgia municipal teams and other different parks and recreations that we look forward to going to see and playing against competitive competition at a safe in a safe environment, and give these kids an opportunity to grow and be able to be acknowledged by more than just what's in their county. And these kids deserve that. They work hard for that. And we just want an opportunity to speak on decisions that are made for us and as well as our youth. Thank you.
Yeah, duly noted. And let me also say there's additional information that we're gathering in reference to whether they're moving out of a league or not. And that information will be disseminated to you very soon.
Because I will say this, we did, a couple of my parents did reach out to Mr. Troy Hodges, and his response was that that decision was made, that we were going to, and the reason was because of a date with cheer competition, a uniform background check, which I do understand that, and also it was a start date time frame, saying that other parks that were in this league were all year round when that's not the case.
A more thorough explanation shall be forthcoming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all.
Clarence Cox, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, Clarence Cox, Hampton, Georgia. Honorable Commissioners, thank you for having me. I want to speak a little bit about the weekend circus. Sheriff Allen recently toured the jail with media this weekend, and I just wanted to point out some clarifications and some misinformation. Sheriff Allen's assertion that the jail is overcrowded needs context. He stated that 400 to 500 inmates are sleeping on the floor. The facility was built to house 1,980 inmates. However, from the assessment, his daily average inmate population has not significantly exceeded this number, where it would impact the officer-inmate ratio. Consistently, a more comprehensive assessment of factors contributed to the safety related to the issues that's necessary. Using only the housing unit's population, you have 1,536 inmates if you double bunker the cells. A housing unit is built for 192 inmates, but it can be increased. Six sections, each containing 16 two-person cells, 2 tiers, 8 cells in each row. Officers deal with 16 inmates in sections at a time, only doing feeding where they come into contact with 32 inmates. The acceptable ratio in Clayton County Jail, from my experience, has been 16-1. Sheriff Allen's assertion he needs an additional 100 detention officers or deputies is dubious, given the facility's manpower allocation was initially based on the projected average population of 1,980 inmates, which requires 32 post positions to be manned per shift. There are 4 shifts working 12 hours, given an overall detention staff of 128 absent of the allotment of supervisors. The sheriff's manpower allocations have not been reduced. It has in fact been increased since 2005. However, Sheriff Hill and Allen have consistently failed to maintain the proper staff.
Sorry, Mr. Cox, but your time is up.
Thank you.
Carol Yancey. Brenda Harrison.
Mr. Chair, this would be our last speaker.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. Brenda Harrison, unincorporated, Clayton County, alter ego, Beth Dutton, Yellowstone Ranch, Montana. I'm going to speak about board appointments. I have proudly served on the library board for 5.5 years and have never missed a meeting. During my reappointment vote, Commissioner Franklin was the only one who voted no to my reappointment. I have asked her several times as to why she didn't want me reappointed, and to this day, no answer. Commissioner Anderson, you have appointed 4 citizens to the library board, excuse me, and none of them have stayed more than 5 months. The last appointment never showed up and missed 3 meetings. She will have to be removed. Commissioner Hambrick, you reappointed a citizen to the Housing Authority of Clayton County, even after I gave you evidence that she should have been removed based on policy. That puts millions of dollars in jeopardy. Then you reappointed another citizen to the MARTA Advisory Board, And when I notified you last month that he had not attended a meeting in 2 years, you have not made any movement to replace him. I personally have attended all of the meetings but one. Please, commissioners, vet your appointments and help them to understand what is required of them. Some boards are governing boards responsible for hiring and firing the director, setting policies, and approving budgets. And some just meet quarterly just to discuss operations and vote on reports. Turnover is very high, and we all want to be successful. Please, let's do better. If there are any citizens who want to serve on a board, go to the county's website, look under county boards, and let your commissioner know which board you want to serve on.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, that concludes public comment. Is there, go ahead. You have some comment.
Well, yes, I see a lot of my parents and students, kids, players, and all here in the audience from not only Flat Shoals Park, but from Clayton County Parks and Rec. And I just want to let you all know that we will be meeting and get a resolution to your concerns.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I know a lot of you probably didn't get a chance to speak tonight.
Yeah. Need for executive session.
Of course. Litigation, personnel, and real estate.
All right, that's trifecta. All right, is there a motion to go into executive session for personnel, real estate, and litigation?
So moved.
I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Motion to reconvene.
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Reed, please take them together.
All right. First is a settlement in the matter of Patrick Womack. On the one hand, and Dante Harper, Board of Commissioners, Clayton County, Georgia, and the Sheriff's Office. This is in the amount of $33,000, and it's related to an incident a traffic accident that occurred on December 30th, 2021. The next is a settlement and release agreement between Clayton County and Build Smart Tobacco, a joint venture LLC, in the amount of $350,000. And I also asked the Chief Financial Officer to amend the budget to reflect the appropriate revenue source and expenses required under these agreements.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on either item? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Good evening.